My little soapbox for a second.
It's Mark Sherwin's Contractor Marketing Soapbox.
Your guide to getting found, selected, and remembered.
And now, here's Mark.
Hey, Soapboxers. Welcome back to another show. We definitely appreciate you sticking around. A little technical troubles there, so we didn't start quite on time, but we got it fixed. I got a really special show planned for us today. I want a chance to introduce Miss Kimberly King. She is our strategic partner and partnership and program director here at LeadsNearby, but she wasn't always that. She was actually my creative director when we first started. So welcome, Kim.
Hi, Mark. Thanks for having me.
We are having fun here. It has been nonstop this morning, and even the technical troubles can't get us down. I'll be honest with you. This is for all my listeners here, for people watching this later. Your comments, your likes, I really appreciate. We're going to talk about how to know when it's time to hire a marketing company, and we're going to get into a little bonus structure here. Talks about how to choose that right marketing company for you based on your expectations and some of the answers that you get through this. Kim and I have been talking to clients now for years, and we've come away with a couple of kind of, let's say, standardized thought processes, if you will, when it comes to, how do you hire an agency? When is it the right time? And, when do you need to work on yourself, right? When do you need to work on your business? When do you need to work on your brand? There's a lot of things that go into what is hiring a marketing company. So, Kim, I'm going to ask you, you've been doing sales now for a little while, and even your graphic design background. When is it the right time? When do you tell people it's the right time to hire a marketing company?
I think, it's different for different people. A lot of people think it's maybe a revenue thing, or they have so many people. But I see it being different for different companies.
Yeah.
We really like to see first I'm seeing, do you have positive reviews online? You don't want to work with a marketing company that doesn't do good work, and your customers don't want to work with you if you don't do great work, right?
Well, absolutely.
Because we don't to pay for marketing if your reviews are then not up to snuff. You're not going to get chosen, even if you're ranked first. It's not going to happen. We want to see an established brand of some sort. Does that mean it? Some people think of that as a wonderful logo, but a brand is so much more than that, and really living into whatever your brand is. We want to see that. We want to see what you're doing on your own. What are you doing to get business? Are people referring you, or have you built up to whatever X revenue on word of mouth? Well, that's fantastic. Like, we're ready to put gasoline on the fire. Or, are you calling just saying, oh, I think I need all this SEO and I'm going to go from zero to nothing. This is probably not the best. The marketing company is probably not where you want to start if you're starting at nothing.
That's a really important point. However, right, what we have found is that so many people, okay, I'm going to start my company, and the build it and they will come kind of scenarios is really not true anymore, especially within the Google ecosphere. It is very, very difficult for people to, how do I put this? Understand that it's not a magic order producing machine. Google's not some sort of, all right, I just show up at the top and people are going to call. And it used to be that way. It is no longer that way. One of the common themes, and I'm going to sort of ask this question, Kim, but this is going to be more of a statement at the same time. One of the common themes that we see in all of our clients, the most successful clients that we have is that they didn't start their company by concentrating and using just the internet. If you look back and you talk to those clients, it was about shaking hands. It was about helping their community. It was about being involved. It was about helping people less fortunate than themselves, whether that was hiring or helping people in their homes. There was a lot of, and I'm encouraging everybody listening here or watching live, think back when you started the company. Did you immediately run to the internet? No, like you had friends, you had family. Social media was probably, if it was a newer firm, was probably a big thing, but it was all about that word of mouth. It was all about those referrals. It was all about you running the company and creating the brand that you are today. When you go to start a new company today, don't start it with the thought that, hey, I'm gonna go get a cool logo from Fiverr and hire this marketing company. They're going to get a website and I'll be number one and I'll make all this money. All of those companies that you worked for before, all of those companies that are successful with their online presence now today, didn't do that part first. They started with the basics. They started with their core values. They started with creating the training internally and created standard operating procedures, right? They didn't try to copy somebody else. They tried to be themselves. And that was one of the biggest pieces of advice I can give anybody looking to hire a marketing company today, is to look internally first. Did you just start your company? Do you have all your standard operating procedures in place? Are you getting out involved in the community? Are you joining your B&I groups? Are you doing what you can? Do you have your guerrilla marketing tactics right?
Yeah.
My podcast using the back. Put that link in here. We got a blog post all about guerrilla marketing tactics. That start there. When is it, Kim, that person then goes, okay, I did all my guerrilla marketing, I've shaken hands and I've kissed enough babies, I'm good, I've done the parades, I've done everything I can. Now they need a marketing firm.
Yeah, I might take it one step back from something you said. Something I'll ask people is, why'd you start the company, right? Because I'll hear this a lot. I didn't want to work with small companies. I didn't want to work for anyone else. Well, that might be a bit of a red flag. But Mark, you started this company. You didn't want to work for anyone else. But the reason behind that was they weren't championing the team. There wasn't good core values. There was just where you started this company because you wanted to build something better. So that's different than not wanting to work with someone else. Yeah. But to folks that just say, I don't want to work for someone else, like, I'm not sure if you should have a company, if that's the end of the statement. That may be terrible to say.
But it's the truth, right? Just because you don't want to work, I have so many of those stories where people quit a company that we're helping with their marketing. They quit because they see how successful we were for that company, and they call us up and they say, give me everything that they have so I'm just as successful.
Yeah.
And they never work out that way.
Because people got to want to work for you if you're going to grow. And why will people want to work for you? And all the things you mentioned, the outreach that they do, the brand, the kind of living up to core values. Like if you don't have the employees, you're not going to get the great reviews and you can't do the work. So no matter how much marketing and positioning you have, that it's not going to work out.
And it actually brings us to the next thing that I wanted to touch on is, what do you do in-house? Right?
Yeah.
Do you outsource all of your marketing? Is it a set and forget kind of thing? We've got numerous examples of that where they hire us and then hey, I'm so busy. I don't have time for this marketing thing. You guys just go handle everything. I'm going to go over here and work. And that scenario doesn't work out very well either. When is it? How do you evaluate that, right? From your in-house capabilities to, hiring externally, what should you keep in-house? For me?
Yeah. And it's different for different people with different goals. Like I'll ask people, they're like, I just want you to do my social media. Well, you're going to give me assets? Are you going to take all the pictures? Are you going to do the video? And, and if it's, what, I just need you all to handle it and do something so I have some presence until I'm really ready for that next person in house. Like, oh, okay. Like that makes perfect sense. We got you on that. We can help you with that. We can do the best practice content on that and kind of work with you on that. And then later, that might be something as you grow that you have an in-house person that even talks to us on a regular basis that does that for you. Yeah, so it's definitely different depending on people's goals.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a prospect say the other day they were paying $1,500 for organic social and for quite some time to grow their company. I said, well, how did that work? And they're like, I didn't see one lead from it. Because I was excited. I was like, oh, this exists.
Let's talk about that real quick, right? Right. They outsourced their organic social to another firm. And for everybody listening to this, watching live, please understand, social media is organic specifically is about you. It's about your company. It's about why people should do business with you. Is that outsourceable? If you're not providing that outsource with your best of awards and your community involvement and pictures of your team having fun and parties and dressing up like the Halloween party you have every year or whatever, right? How truly organic is it? How social is it? It's ignorable. As a consumer, I can just scroll past because it's uninteresting to me if a marketing firm is completely in control of that. There's a really good piece of information that I hope people picked up on from Kim is that, just hiring somebody to go and get you organic social or anything at this point, it really is predicated on your involvement. What information are you giving that marketing firm that they can help make you successful? It's not rocket science. It's not magic. We can't produce it. Sometimes it involves your involvement. However, your marketing firm should be giving you the ideas and the plan. And that's what we do here. Really quick, I want to talk a little bit about budgeting. And I'll tell you, budgeting is, when can I afford somebody? Should I afford somebody? That's a little bit rich. Everybody listening, I have one statement that I'd like you to make sure unequivocally, hands down, follow this rule. You will thank me later. Do not overspend as a young company. Do not look at a marketing plan and say, okay, I can afford it this month. I can afford it next month, but by then they should be producing the leads necessary so I can continue to afford them. Full stop. Please, please, please do not do that. It needs to be affordable every single month, and you can grow from there based on results. Do not overhire early in your program. It puts way too much pressure on you and your marketing firm for success. That is just not that is a hard stop for us. And you get those clients, and we have numerous examples where, oh, I want what the big guys have, and just sell it to me, and I'll make money, and I can pay for it later. It's not that easy. So from a budgeting standpoint, I have a general kind of thought process, and I'm very interested in your interpretation of this as well, based on what you've seen, Kim. Is I tell clients this: look at your sales from the year prior, multiply that by 10%. That should be your overall marketing budget based on the year prior.
Yeah,
Now,
online and offline, all of it.
Total marketing budget, online, offline, anything that you put in your marketing budget should be coming out of that pot. Now you've got an overall budget. Can it be 12, 15%? Sure, absolutely. You could go that aggressive if you've got and just know that, hey, I'm on an aggressive growth plan. Can it be less? Generally, it is less when you are a bigger company, right?
Yeah.
When you're 10 million, it could be 4 or 5%, 2%. Like it
If
can.
there's a commercial side, we usually see a lot less than that too, because it drives itself.
But just for the sake of this exercise, take your last year's sales, multiply it by 10%, and it's your overall marketing budget. Now, depending upon your area of the country, the next statement holds true. If you are in a very technical area, lots of cell phone usage, right? A younger area, your online portion of that budget can be up to about 70, 75% potentially. Generally, you're hovering around 60%. So you take your, let's just say it's a $10,000 total budget, take 60%, and that's your online marketing budget. You take those other $4,000 and you sprinkle, that's going to be part of your community involvement. That's going to be your guerrilla marketing, lawn signs and stuff like that. Use it and don't shove it all into Google. Don't go down the train of giving Google all of your money for a pay-per-click, because that's going to get you clicks to your website. Start building the community, start building the guerrilla marketing tactics, create a great referral marketing campaign or just program in general, and spend about 60% online. Let's just say that's $60,000. That's $6,000, and you divide that up over 12 months. So you have a $500 a month called budget. Now you can go up and down. You know, it can fluctuate, especially during the summer. If you're an HVAC guy, maybe you spend a little bit more, but that's your average. Then you look for a partner that matches your ideology. It matches who you can get along with them, right? They're not hidden behind some wall. They meet your expectations. That equation is not new. I've heard that numerous times, but people oftentimes forget about it. They forget that I shouldn't dump all of my eggs into the Google basket, for instance. Spend a little bit on multiple things. Kim,
what do you recommend for? I know different folks, and I heard this at an event. It wasn't a client. They had just their revenue, their net was just the profit side of it was just so low. It was such a low percent, but they were this giant company, and they got coaching and everything got panned out. But that's where sometimes people need to focus on that. And because the percent, right, it doesn't always make sense if you're not seeing that revenue. Like, what if you're building something and you're not profiting? Sometimes you got to take a look at that business and say, this is where I need to focus. I need to maybe pour into my operations a little more. I need to pour into my coaching a little more, partner with that marketing, but also that coach.
Let me answer that with kind of a real life example. Hey, Mark, things seem to be going okay, but I need more calls. Okay, more calls. All right, yeah, sure. What's going on? And we dove in and we looked at their analytics, and they had a 24% book rate. So of all the calls they get, 10 calls in a day, 2.5 were actually booking on average. And that particular client is quite frankly no longer a client, because they refuse to look internally and only look at filling the hopper with more opportunities. Instead of fixing the book rate, They wanted more in the top end so that the book rate, their current book rate, didn't have to change, so they can continue to grow. You are 100% right on that, Kim. Understanding all the metrics, understanding your close rates, your book rates, right? Your average tickets are all extraordinarily important before you even call a marketing company. Understanding that if you put 10 more in the hopper on the top end, how much more out do you get? And understanding those is extraordinarily powerful. Here's another thing, and this is extraordinarily important, especially for my people who are just starting out, or maybe you're just one guy, a couple of trucks, or what have you. Having that person or answering leads in a timely manner, and not letting people go to the voicemail in hopes that they'll accept your call later. No, like that call is gold. Like that call, your marketing company worked its tail off to get. Your reputation earned it. Don't turn it away by letting them go to voicemail. Answer your phones, answer your emails, answer your text messages as quickly and as effectively and efficiently as possible. Those leads close. I have had horror story after horror story of clients telling me, "Oh, people just leave a message." Would you?
I move on to the next company, unless it's a really niche, like this is the only company that does it. I want, I don't know, a special paint job on my car, and I know I have to use this guy. Like, sorry, a plumber. I've changed plumbers. So, yeah.
I might hang around if I've got a strong relationship with them, or they're the only ones that in a certain radius. Maybe I'll wait around for somebody. Chances are there's somebody who's sitting there waiting for me to make a call, waiting for me to call them, and they're ready to come out and talk to me. Loyalty only goes so far, guys. You might get the first call, but if you don't answer or pick up, I'm gone. I'll find somebody else. I will, couple of things about hiring a marketing agency in general. It's very easy to go look at the bottom of a very successful site in your area and try to find out who built it and who's handling their marketing. That's very tempting to do. Hiring a marketing agency isn't always all about their success for their current clients. It's about, do you align with that company? And I can't express to you enough that the importance of that, right? Here at LeadsNearby, every single client has my personal cell phone number. They are more than welcome to call or text at any time. And as the president of the company, the co-founder of the company, I pride myself in that, right? That is a differentiator for us. Does that differentiator mean something to you? I don't know that. That is important for you to make that distinction. Are you that way in your firm? Right? If you are not, which is perfectly legitimate, mind you, right? Maybe our styles don't align. And that's okay. There is a company out there for you that it would align with. We spend a lot of time talking about today, when to hire, why to hire, et cetera, so forth. Kim, you've been with me for 10 years. You've done multiple roles in this company, and most recently kind of handling the partnerships and the sales in general on what we do here. What's one tidbit of information you would give a prospective client or somebody starting out and looking for that new marketing firm to come and help them? What are some of the things that person's experiencing right now that would dictate they need to hire a marketing firm? Let me ask that question differently.
It's different if we're talking about a small company or a larger company. I feel like I feel like a lot of folks will be like, oh, I just need to see how much it costs. We're not the cheapest. We're by far not the most expensive. You can pay a lot, right? Anyone will take your money, but like, what do you really need? Right? Maybe have that conversation of what do I need and what do I need when? I know we talk more and more about like sort of tiers and getting people what they need when they need it, and maybe before they need it. I had someone say to me the other day, I might get back to you when the leads dry up. Like, is that
there's one way to go with it. Yeah.
And maybe that's fine. I know there's some folks that are like, you know what, I can do all this commercial business, or I work for these other contractors under someone, like it might work for them and that might be fine. It's a different plan for everybody, depending on what your other, what your resources are. And really having your marketing company understand that, understand do you have a shoulder season? When is it? Like, we have more and more companies starting that sort of, I don't know what we're calling it, that sort of extra vertical, if you will, where you might get into the house on a quarterly basis, or, we have someone doing wine cellars, someone doing renovations, pest control, things like that they thought, I'd never get into that.
We had a plumbing company start a septic division.
Yep.
Right. They're looking to flatten the curve. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I would say just make sure you're having those conversations, because people will say things to me. It's like, I didn't know that, really. Like, I wasn't evaluating that. I was just looking at the companies and looking at the prices and like, maybe I need a really expensive one because I want to be ranked. It's like, well, wait a minute. What is the goal? What is your goal? Some people are super happy having a under 10 tech team. They're like, oh, it's great to manage, and it's hard to get apprentices in this area because it takes 4 years to train, and we are solid, and we got a good system. That's great. They're super happy. Where another company wants to have multi locations and be in other states, like, you kind of decide what are you hiring your marketing company for?
So a couple of things, and I'll just kind of recap for you, and they're listed here in the description too, if you ever need to reference them back. But if you're a contractor experiencing that inconsistent lead volume that Kim talked about, right? It's time to talk to a marketing person. If you're experiencing, lack of a plan, don't understand how to create a plan, don't understand the value of a plan, but you need one, time to look at a marketing company. This next one's a good one. If you find yourself wearing too many hats, understand that marketing companies, they're a hat. Like, you can task them for certain things. Again, what you put in is what you get out. So understand that when you're hiring a marketing company. Don't, I'm wearing the social media hat. Here you go, marketing company. Go take care of my social media and run off. Nope, I still need you to be involved. I'm just going to tell you what to do and how to do it. We'll take care of the rest. So you're still involved. Don't just hand it off. Understand that budget is extreme. Kim already mentioned price. Understand that budget. Don't overextend yourself at all, just for dreams. Understand that you need to be aggressive if you have an aggressive plan, but don't overextend yourself. And the other one, and this is probably the biggest one, especially for LeadsNearby clients, that you've found that you've plateaued in your market, right? You keep pushing. Oh, I'm at 3 million. 3.1. Nope. I'm 3.2. Like, and you just haven't pushed past a certain threshold. Time to hire a marketing company willing and capable of taking you to that next step. That you have reached most likely the pinnacle of the current marketing firm that you have. And it's time to take that next natural step with a new marketing firm with a fresh approach, so that you have that opportunity. When growth stagnates, it is the marketing company isn't always to blame. It could be internal, right? It could be my sales guys are turnover, whatever. It could be a lot of things. The market, tariffs. It could be a number of things. But when you look at the bottom line, and revenue is stagnant, ask some questions. Those are a couple of ideas, and I hope people took some things away from that from this one specifically about hiring a marketing firm or looking at which ones would be right for you. We have a lot of information on our website, and Kim, do you have any parting thoughts?
I would say too, depending on what types of integrations you need once you're using those kind of things, like are people using them to the full potential to make it, I say, easy on you? I guess the word is business efficiency and bigger words like that. But like that takes the load off of people to have all that done and all that working for you, and it helps your lead flow.
So the question to ask for everybody here while you're talking to another marketing firm or considering one or what have you is, what are their capabilities with third-party entities? Are they willing to work? What's the word? Are they willing to play nice in the sandbox? We at LeadsNearby are absolutely work with anybody. It doesn't matter. But not everybody is that way. And it's a really good question to ask your prospective marketing firm. That includes integrations. That includes your business partnerships that you have. Are you working with Contractor Commerce? Are you working with Eden? Are you working with other things or entities? Or your good lead, your financing? Are we willing to work with them on and within the site? That's a really good point, Kim. Thank you for bringing that up. Ask those questions, guys, because there are companies out there that talk a big game, right? But and they're cheap or inexpensive, I should say, right? But they have a closed system. Our system is only what's contained in the box. But if you need things outside of that box, that's an indicator that company might not be right for you. Good point, Kim. Good point.
And I would say, you said, the whole relationship thing, and whether it's who you're with now, whether you're thinking about changing, that relationship, we have like the marketing managers. Sometimes they're called the account managers at other places, whatever they may be. There's usually a point person. And I've had a conversation with a client, like, they were sort of like, I don't want to say I don't want to say complaining. That's the wrong word. They were expressing some things. And I said, we can always change who that point is. Like, we don't mind doing that. Different people, even when I was the designer, it could be another designer, if they work with that person better. We did that all the time. We want you working. There's more than one person here doing that job. I guarantee you. And I would say, don't be afraid to one, talk, because, and then that specific person said, don't you dare ever change me from, no, like they just wanted to be able to talk about it. So, and that's really important, having that open conversation. Every relationship, for, a lasting relationship, it's not going to be perfect. So understanding you're not perfect either, neither is your marketing company, and having those open conversations and being able to laugh about it.
I 100% agree. It's probably the best note that we could end on at this moment in time. And I don't want to bore people anymore, but I appreciate you all. Thank you so much. Please leave a likes and comments down there, and definitely hit the follow button. We'll be trying to do more of these, even internally, and I'm going to have some more guests. If you want to be a guest, just let us know. Thanks again. We appreciate it. Market Leads Nearby. Yeah, that's how to get a hold of me. Thanks again, everybody.
It's Mark Sherwin's Contractor Marketing Soapbox. Call Mark to learn more. 919-758-8420.